Okay, I have a question. I missed Wednesday's episode, and there's just an uproar, apparently, about your guys' electricity bill.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal? Like, you guys, you said you were paying $3,000. What's happening?
So I'm paying $2,700 for 2 months.
You're telling me that $1,350 a month is your electricity bill or your DWP bill?
Yes.
What are you doing?
What's even worse, and I realized this after the pod, my water bill is north of $3,000. Then I have Southern California of Edison, which is another $1,000
For what? For how long?
every 2 months.
I'm so confused. That seems astronomically.
I'm when I tell you California is going to go so red.
Was there like a surge? Like nothing. You're telling me this is normal.
Well,
did you leave the hose on?
No,
I wasn't even in town for 2 of the weeks in the 2 months.
But you realize mine is just water, which is north of $3,000.
Yeah, but like you have
How
a
do you
lot
leave it on? That's crazy. It's crazy.
It's stupid. It's slowly stupid. They're scamming people. The whole state is a big scam. I'm voting all these guys out.
Yeah, I agree. But
you're
just so we can put this to bed.
to lower it though?
I mean, why was it so much cheaper 5 years ago? The city and state are in a massive budget deficit. This is an easy way to scam everyone into taking their money. It's very easy.
There's definitely a mechanism we don't know. Like meaning, there's like an inefficiency, a massive inefficiency somewhere.
Yeah, look, mine was 2,700. If it was,
but that includes your power.
Yes, so
mine didn't include power and was north of $3,000.
Yeah, I mean, and you're still left. So I don't know. That makes you maybe stupid.
But you guys are telling me this is just what it's going to be every 2 months.
Yeah, well, I think we don't have the air conditioner running in, November. It's not on every day. Right. Like, it's generally our house actually stays pretty cool. Like our AC is at like 72 degrees in our house.
Yeah, our AC is only on at night.
So I think it's just a function of the inefficiency of government broadly. Like nobody in the government is thinking about, oh my God, we're talking about that the middle class is getting squeezed every which way. Right. Did anyone ever take a look at the power bill, the water bill that Americans are paying? No, they're not. That's never been brought up because that would require a fucking brain, and none of these people have brains.
It's also funny when we made such a hoopla about eggs and grocery prices, but there's all these silent killers happening that are just slowly bleeding. Yeah.
Car insurance. And I saw like a very interesting take on, all the immigration challenges. So tourism is down, immigration obviously is non-existent, and then deportations are up, right? So net migration into the country should be probably negative. I have no idea. Let's just assume it's negative finally. You should see impact across your cost structure as a American citizen. Car insurance is an area where it is incredibly high in a state like California. A lot of it, there's a ton of hit and runs because a lot of uninsured drivers are driving the streets, and they're uninsured because they're not legal immigrants. So I think that there are some of those instances where housing and insurance and, a lot of people talk about the ERs being not as crowded because of ICE scaring. So maybe there's some unintended consequences of mass immigration that we never thought of. And then on the flip side, maybe we'll get a benefit at some point, because right now, all of these things, health insurance, car insurance, power, these are not the topics of the day. Right. We don't talk about the costs, the hard numeric. You know why everyone's in uproar? Because I bet you half the people don't even look at their power bill. When I said it, you may go check. If you own a home, you may be a little bit more cautious about it, but the average person's not checking their power bill. It's on auto pay, and it could be $100, it could be $250. You don't fucking know and don't really care. Like if your bill went, let's just say if you had a power bill of, I don't think you probably have to pay one in your building, but let's just say you did.
Yeah.
If it was $200 a month and it went to $300, which is a 50% increase, you wouldn't notice.
Right. I bet a lot of people check their bill after Wednesday's pod. Random people I know ask me about it. They're like, Dee and Anand paid $3,000. I'm like, I don't know. What? That can't be right. That must be for the year or something.
Pool. I have no pool.
Mine's
remember when I had that pool?
I have a lot of grass. That's a problem.
I had that pool that I kept at 95 degrees at all times.
24/7.
Still, mine was like, I don't know, 800 or something. And that was like really high at the time.
Well, but a lot of cost structures have changed in the last, 5 years.
Right.
I
just had to clear that up. I missed it. A lot of people asked me about it. I was like, you must have heard it wrong. I was so confused.
Yeah.
The next question is, can you guys fill me in on Archie? What?
No, I want to just to tap back into inflation. So the Mexican restaurant that Dee goes to with his family, I take Mav to at the Grove, the casual spot, farmer's market.
Yeah.
Completely empty. And I asked them, like, what's going on? They were like, the price is just too expensive.
It is too expensive. Everything is too expensive.
The employees were telling me
empty, or the employees were gone.
There was zero tables.
The problem is that
12:30 on a Sunday.
Yeah, you eat at a casual restaurant. I only speak for LA. A casual restaurant that's not like fine dining. The price is completely out of whack, to the point where it makes way more sense to eat fine dining than go eat at a casual restaurant. You 30% more and you're eating at the best restaurants in the city. And you get the best service, and you get the incredible food. You're going to experience that is not being given to you at a casual eatery. So like the casual restaurant has to embrace robotics, self-service in terms of menu ordering. Like you can't have the staff, right? Like the food prices are too high, and you're not like, just give us an iPad and we order and the food comes when it comes. Like it's, I don't think there can be a wait staff for casual eatery in LA and New York. It just doesn't work.
Right. Okay. Well, I just love how like there's all these problems anyway, but then I feel like California is just probably one of the worst at the moment.
Well, Brian, from Nature Group, he said that the minimum wage for the restaurant industry is so out of whack. Like more restaurants are going to, continue to fail. It's not possible, which maybe that's part of the grand plan. Like, let's just let everyone go out of business, because that creates socialism.
Right.
Yeah. That's the Mondanian effect.
Yeah, so like it's a great if you're playing the long game of destroying.
I liked your post in our chat, like
about
someone
the US
in the
Open.
Fort Deck, Fort Deck at the US Open.
You don't have to worry about Mamdani. If this is your view, you don't have to worry about Mamdani. And it's like the last deck at the US Open.
Yeah.
But
I've sat there, by the way. It's tough.
So you don't have to worry about Mamdani.
Yep.
But I think, generally speaking, the real challenge is that like the cost structure of operating a business in California, particularly with insurance, minimum wage, anything that's semi-labor intensive, is basically impossible unless you're charging obscenely high prices. If you're Malibu.
Yeah, the thing we get back to is like the high income earners will go to Nobu Malibu. They'll go to Delilah Vegas. They'll go to, Cipriani, you name your like A-list restaurant. The problem is they can afford it. But if the casual dining place at Farmer's Market is probably like only 30% cheaper on a dish, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they just, but there's like a post of like I think Dee mentioned it a few weeks ago, the MGM.
the costs are astronomical for any
like
shitty
steak,
restaurant.
like a steak restaurant at the MGM, and that it actually dovetails really well into an article that went super viral over the weekend, which was it was about Disney. It was written by the New York Times, and the article is really highlighting. I forgot. Let me get you the exact title of the article, but it's basically Disney and the decline of America's middle class. And it talks about a 60-year-old bus driver who has been planning, saving, bargain hunting, and, planned her big Disney trip. And, she got one of the, like some fast pass, something, but she only got in the front of the line of one ride. It basically said like at Disney, like there's like 10 different experiences you can have depending on your wealth. Right. Like you don't have to have the experience of just buying a ticket, standing in line and just going through it. If you want to avoid everything, you can get the guide. Right. And I'm sure there's a level of the guide that's even higher that we don't even know about that potentially exists, where like Mickey Mouse comes in fucking,
No, I actually know the level. If you're rich, you pay for a guide and it's kind of okay. But if you're Kim Kardashian and you're famous, like your cousin, he gets top of the line because he's famous. If you're famous, you get the extreme VIP. If you're not famous, you just try to buy your way in, you don't get it.
Yeah, that is true 100% because I've experienced both. And also, I think to Dee's point, there's probably a guide. There's probably I'm sure you can pay for the Kim Kardashian experience.
Of course you can.
And not be Kim Kardashian and be, just a random.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing, even like you take the Louvre does private tours and after hours or late at night, you can go get a private tour of the Louvre with no one in the fucking building if you want.
I mean, everyone does a private tour if you have the right budget.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what's happening is that like, and what the interesting thing about using Disneyland as like, Disneyland is the primary example of like what's happening in America because it is probably the most popular place to visit on earth. Right. And what's happened is because of social media, everyone found out about all of these levels, these guides, right? Like I know people who get guides that are not rich.
Right.
They get it because they love Disneyland and that's the experience they want to give to they'd rather get the guide at Disneyland than go to Hawaii.
So what I've seen an article recently is that properties like Disneyland, hotels around the world, they're basically trying to extract more money from the high income earners. So the high income stuff is just like astronomically higher because they know the middle class isn't spending. Yeah. And so they're trying
that's to what this article's about.
That seems like a trend at airports as well. It seems like there's a trend at airports. It seems like you can, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like you can start to feel at airports that there is a more common, really high end experience.
Yes.
And then there's obviously like just the cattle, shove on a plane.
Spirit Airlines bankruptcy.
Right. So you see this like catering towards.
Yeah. And the best example at the airports is Private Suites, which is at LA. It's in Atlanta. It's in like a handful of airports around the country where you have your own entrance away from G-pop.
The commoners,
you don't even enter the airport the same place. It's literally like 2 miles the other way. Yeah. You get on the plane via a private vehicle, so you don't have to like security is private. And then so let's assume that's the best of the commercial airline experience. And then now you have like Delta One and Flagship First on American who have their own entrances, their own security, their own lounges, which are way better because, by the way, if you're flying, if you're like a Delta, member and you get into the lounge, the regular Delta lounge is a wait. It's a cattle call.
The Delta lounge at LAX is like the equivalent of going to like Barney's Beanery.
Yeah, and that's why you have to, if you're Delta, you go to Delta One, because like that's a different lounge, a different menu, a different experience, different security. And so and this is the problem with the overall economy. Why we're not in a recession and why we won't get in a recession is because the spending power of wealthy people in this country
makes up for the whole entire economy. Rich people are so rich that it does not matter if nobody else does anything. You know, it's funny. We went to Century City Mall on Saturday morning to that doll place. Is it called American Beauty Girl? What is
American
it called?
Girl.
American Girl. So our 3.5-year-old's obsessed with all that stuff. It's all boomers in the store.
Yeah.
Buying shit for their grandkids.
Yeah, you know, that business is on fire. They crush it.
And like I saw one boomer with the shirt said, I'm not retired. I'm a professional grandpa. And he's just picking up dolls.
It's funny how much I feel like our economy also relies so much on, you know, like we've talked about the boomers and let's just say the grandparents. And then also I'm so fascinated by like what's going to happen when this great, you know, the great wealth pass down happens. It's like there's so many millennials that are going to
be rich.
Yeah.
They're going to be rich. They're all going to be millionaires.
And they're going to be fucking at Disneyland and they're going to.
That's why like my pessimism for the economy is basically gone. If you're looking at it from a macro standpoint of like, okay, you know, do you think the S&P 500 will continue at its clip that it's been doing? And I go, yeah, I think whatever it did the last 20 years, I think it'll do the next 20 years. Like I would feel pretty comfortable in that performance. But obviously if you just look at a singular level, there needs to be some like pretty big changes in the economy for other people to catch up. And I think that will happen with AI and robotics. So Waymo is getting aggressive on pricing. So they never ever, the last couple of months, it was quite high taking a Waymo versus an UberX. Like I didn't see the value. Today I took 2. My rides were sub $10. And it was 3 miles each way.
And what would be the equivalent for UberX?
14.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty fascinating that like you may see deflation in certain parts of the economy. Even I was listening to All In and they were talking about CloudKitchen launched their faux competitor to like Chipotle. And it's like cheaper priced, high quality food. I don't know if anyone has loyalty to the brand Chipotle. I'm sure there are some people that have it, but if you give them the same bowl experience with, better ingredients and a cheaper price, they're taking the deal. Because Chipotle, so much of Chipotle is takeout and delivery. You're not eating there. So most people are picking it up and going to work. So like if it's a price thing, then there's going to be a lot of instances where price is going to get cheaper across the economy, which will help the middle class. And then you add on the boomers passing off a trilly, 20 trilly, 80 trilly.
90.
Yeah, exactly.
90.
We're chilling.
It was 70 trillion when we were talking about this in 2020 during COVID. It's 90 trillion.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what's crazy too. Is like, Trump should bully every country. Then they're fucked. The rest of the world is fucked, and we have everyone by the balls.
The real safe space for millennials is if he eliminates the estate tax.
I mean, that's going to be a tough one to get by, but yeah, he should do it.
I think it's 15 million. At 90 trillion, think about how many people are inheriting north of $10 million, north of 15, a lot.
A lot of people.
What's the estate tax?
So under 15 right now, you pay no tax. If your parents pass and they hand you sub 15 million, it's tax free.
And you're saying Trump should do what?
Eliminate, just
raise it, just unlimited.
No cap.
Yeah.
No cap.
No cap.
Like the young kids say.
No cap. Yeah. Yeah. It's just wild. You know what else I realized? This might be a dumb statement, but like it's sort of like, it's easy to look today at the snapshot and be like, oh shit, the wealth divide and the, all this stuff. But like, really, people that know how to like start these crazy innovative businesses are just going to get better and better at like cheaper and cheaper experiences. Yes. Like you said. So like you'll be able to take your Uber, except for it'll be a Waymo or a Tesla robotaxi. You'll be able to get your Chipotle, except for it was made by a robot. Like you'll be able to have like a decent quality of life at a lower rate. Meanwhile, printing more billionaires. It's not like it's just interesting to look at the trajectory. Like we're going to get better and better at maintaining a quality of life on less and less income for people.
Exactly.
My question really is, of the 90 trillion, how do you barbell it in terms of how many people are inheriting north of 1 million, or are they inheriting?
Yeah, but what does it matter? Who cares?
No, I'm just curious. There's that data point isn't there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think either way, it's a lot of people. It's not concentrated so much that it's a small group.
It's not 90 people inheriting $1 trillion each, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's going to, think about it. It's going to a family of 10.
That's what's crazy.
Might have 5 million. They might have $10 million, but they have 4 kids. They have grandkids. So it's going to get spread over like 12 people, where everyone gets $800K or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, 12 more people became millionaires overnight.
Right. That's what's crazy. Even if it's 100,000, it's kind of getting passed down to 500,000. Like, because it's, to Dee's point, like it's grandma and grandpa handing it down to probably like a family of 4 on average, you would think.
Yeah. The doll store was pretty funny, because we talk about it all the time, how the boomers are just funding all these kids, and I saw it firsthand on Saturday morning.
Yeah. And I think, and the reality is they're all going to live a lot longer too. They're going to live well into their hundreds. And so a lot of those people are going to, continue to make money in the market or whatever investments they have.
Yeah. They'll compound it. Their 401ks will compound and
they'll continue. And a lot of them are like, fuck it, I want to enjoy it with my kids. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll spend it now. So they're doing that, right? They're taking family trips and vacations and, buying real estate and doing whatever. Like, they're doing what they want to do with that money, which is very different than previous generations where they may have just held onto it.
You travel the most of the 3 of us. How many boomers do you see on your flights?
Oh, the whole plane. The front of the plane is all 50, 60 plus.
Yeah.
The back of the plane are like, poor millennials with their Rimowa and their fucking designer bags.
Dude. It's like people are so willing to have a terrible, like a worse quality of life for a better Instagram photo.
Yes, because like, let me tell you something. Nobody except like young people have nice things in first class.
Yeah.
Like zero. Nobody has nice things.
So the boomers are just using the old school luggage.
They're wearing like their old fucking Wells Fargo vest. Like they don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
By the way,
back, it's like a fucking Labubu hanging from a Rimowa.
Yes, at Birkin. I see people in Birkin bags going to the middle back.
Seat. You can't have a Birkin bag and sit in the back. Sorry, that's bad.
But I bet you that Birkin bag you can. And I think. But that's my point on the Disney thing. They're trying to say it's like doom and gloom, but the reality is that like the middle class is aware of what wealthy people do. They'd rather stretch and do it the right way, or what makes them happy, than going to Disney and riding 4 rides and waiting for 6 hours to do those 4 rides. Like, a lot of people are like, fuck it. We won't go on a family vacation this year. We'll go to Disneyland, and we're going to go do it the way we want to do it. It's $1,000 a head, and we're going to go do it.
So, Drama, I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this question. So, I know you mentioned like you have young employees that it's totally acceptable to live at home.
Yeah. Yes.
Why wouldn't the parents just pay for the rent?
Well, I'm doing a lot of speculating, but I think that number one, I think that there's there's still like a frugality to these parents. Aren't dumb. Like, they're not the ones blowing all their money it's the kids, right? So like, that's a huge expense that like, oh, we have a guest, we have their room, we have their childhood room, you can live here. I'm not going to pay for you to move out. Like if you want to live here, you have a room, great. I also think there's a small part of it that probably like, I think the parents kind of like it too. Like I think
Keeping
there's a
him in
little
the house.
Yeah, I would imagine. I obviously have no idea, and I would have to talk to some parents. I would imagine that for a lot of parents, there's kind of a sad moment or like a little bit of an identity crisis when your kid moves out, and whatever they call it, empty nesting or whatever, right? It has a name. I think that there's a part that is sort of like it's nice to have your whole family in the house, and I don't think you're willing to pay the however much a month for your kid to go have a free apartment. I think it's that. I think it's some combination of that. I'm doing a lot of guessing, but I think it's some combination of that.
Yeah, we need to talk to like a 50-year-old parent that has kids of that age.
Yeah. And these 50-year-olds aren't dumb. Like we said, all the people in first class aren't wearing logos. Like they're not dumb with their money. That's the reason they have it. And so they're not really excited about letting little Jessica, who's just, going wild and partying, having a fucking nice apartment with a balcony in downtown, like if you want.
What's funny is if you, I don't know if you saw, there was like the last couple, maybe a month or two on TikTok, there was like, young, white women who hang out in New York, and they basically day in the life. I ran back into the city and I bought a juice and did Pilates and got my Botox and blah, blah, blah. Basically the joke was that like these women are like holding up the entire economy because they're spending every so much. Yeah. They're spending, it's every dollar. It's probably unlimited dollars because it's coming from
you mean
their parents.
Older ladies?
No, I'm talking about a 23-year-old.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if they're on like a allowance, they're spending every dollar each month on their lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant. Meaning, like, it's refilling.
Yes.
Why would you save it? It's so stupid. So if you get $5,000 a month for your allowance,
we need a rich parent to come on the pod to explain how they allocate funds to their kids.
But I will say what we need is like a rich, like Arizona parent though, not an LA rich. That's different.
Right. Because the three of us, we had to fend for ourselves.
Right.
Right. Our entire adulthood. It's like, you get to live how you get to live based on what you have in your bank account.
You eat what you kill.
And these kids aren't.
Right. I mean,
I want to know how the parents like allocate it.
I'll tell you, just
I
being
don't care
honest
about the billionaire kids because that's different. That's like those trusts
That's what I'm saying.
Unlocking at 21, at 22, 23.
Yeah. My actual conversation where you talked about living with parents, or where I talked about kids living with parents, that wasn't from one of my employees. That was from a random girl at the pool here who I don't know. And I just started chatting with, and her take on like the way the world works was insane. Like it was like everyone lives at home. There's no hope. I don't have to live at home
because she's at your pool. She doesn't live at home.
She said, okay, I was getting there. She said, I don't have to live at home because I'm hot and I have a rich boyfriend. But if you're not hot, you're screwed. And she's from like middle America. And her just like,
we need her on the pod.
Oh my God. I was like,
get her on the
whoa.
I think if the average person in America knew about the hot girl economy, their head would explode and they would kill themselves.
There might be an uproar. There might be a fucking revolution.
Civil war.
Somehow they've gotten away from all of like this
cancel culture
narrative, cancel culture. Yeah, no one ever came for the hot girls. They're even above that.
Yeah, I mean, they're untouchable.
We know too many stories. We could do a whole pod on it, but we'd get canceled.
100%. But that's, I think like a rich, like Arizona or something, Colorado, whatever, parent to tell us what kids are up to would be good. But here's one question I had just to go back a second is, don't you think that any of the Disney conversation has to do with like just the Disney brand declining?
No, but the revenue and everything's up. There's nothing about the Disneyland business that's down. Disney movies are down. Disneyland is booming. because that's nostalgic. You're doing land. Snow White. You're not talking about whatever, the last movie that bombed. They're talking about what happened 40 years ago.
So drama, I'll tell you, just from having a daughter that's 3.5.
Right.
She doesn't know what woke and non-woke is. It's just what
but it's parents. It's the parents. A lot of parents have chosen not to let their kids watch Disney because of it. So it's nothing to do with her.
I guess. I don't know. But
she she loves the character. She wants to watch Frozen. The whole thing. Yeah. Okay,
she wants Frozen. She wants Snow White. She wants Cinderella. Okay.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is that like all the things you're talking about are the nostalgic parts of Disney.
Right.
That's what people want.
That makes sense. Okay.
So you think there's parents actively not letting their 3-year-old to watch?
Yes. I actively know grandparents who will not fund their kids Disney adventures. Like facts.
The grandparents run the show, man.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
I have to fund my own show. So,
well, look, if we have any rich, parents not in LA, we'd love to interview you.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I actually really want to know. And I was getting my most important question is, what's the kind of breaking point where you're willing to fund your, 24-year-old, and then you say, no, you got to go figure it out on your own.
Yeah,
part of what this girl was saying too was that I feel so bad because my friends went to college to be nurses and doctors and they're legit really smart kids that worked really hard, and I don't know the full story of
but
what
she's clowning them.
She's like, oh, it's so, while she's tanning by a very nice pool, she's like, oh, it's so sad, they work so hard.
Yeah, being a nurse is tough. Parents. I've been around them a ton. They work their ass off.
And that's my point, is that okay, take this girl and take her boyfriend. They're spending a middle class family on a monthly basis. And so over the last week, there was an article that came out that said more people haven't paid bills on credit card bills for over 3 months. So the delinquency rates are actually quite high. So that's a scary thing, right? It's a very scary thing when delinquency rates are this high. And and it only happened like this before the great financial crisis, during that era. So everyone's making that comparison. But the thing that you can't compare is that we're in a different world. These people have so much money that it doesn't matter that those people's credit card bills are so late. That's
who has so much money. You're saying the rich people?
Yes.
Yep.
That it's not affecting. We should be in a recession for all intents and purposes. I honestly believe that. But then when I took a step back and I realized, whoa, these people have so much money that it doesn't matter. When I talk to retailers, no retailer telling me business is bad. Right. It's good. It's okay. It could be better, but no one told me it's bad.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's also because this is credit card bills, and obviously you add all these buy now, pay later. Then you add, it just blows my mind, the level of even the way that the government spends. It's the amount of fucking just credit.
Fuckery. Yeah.
Propping up this whole shit.
Yeah.
Even the more you learn about leverage and the, I didn't really understand that in finance, and it's just this whole fucking thing is credit, man.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, to be fair, boomers are liquid.
Well, true.
They got no credit.
That's true.
They're flying clean.
I just feel there's a class of people in this country that are the boomers that are smart financially, frugal, spend below their means, maybe made money in a time when I guess you could argue there was a better path. And man, they're just the foundation of this fucking economy,
When I actually learned about this, boomers. I was in Southeast Asia with a friend, and we were just fucking around. It was Cambodia and Vietnam. And we go to the pool. It was all Midwest, old white people. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because they lived a modest life and they have money. They're now a little older. They have time. Their kids are probably out of the nest, and they're just like, yeah,
that's probably everywhere. That's probably only American tourism left. Like I bet you could go to any country and it's just old boomers sitting by the pool.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting thing is that like it makes me really like bullish on what's happening, because I do think this is like one of the more tougher times for the middle class. I think we've talked about this before. Lower income, their job security is there. I would even say most of middle class job security is there. The real problem is inflation, and as more of these entrepreneurs start tackling these industries, like what's happening in food. Like, right. I'll give you an interesting thing that I don't know if we talked about this recently, but do you remember when Whole Foods, the narrative was whole paycheck?
Yeah.
Like it was the most expensive grocery store. I'm a very frequent Whole Foods in-person shopper in New York City. Our office is in Bryant Park. There's a Whole Foods there, and I end up going there very often. And I'm here to tell you that it is so cheap compared to, oh my God, it's so cheap. It's like, what, like, I'm like shocked at how inexpensive eating at Whole Foods is compared to anything else in that neighborhood.
That's
so like
an Amazon effect though.
Yeah, but that's my point. A tech company came in and said, fuck it, we're going to make it cheap.
Right.
And we're going to make it affordable. And like, dude, I walk out of there with a sub $10 lunch, sub $10.
So, here's my question.
Crazy.
So we know the boomers were very fiscally responsible, which is why there's 90 trillion that's going to get inherited. What's going to happen to that next generation? Are they going to be fiscally responsible?
I think they're going to blow it.
Yeah.
I think it's the next generation. It's Gen Z that's really fucked, but that they're all socialists. So
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they'll probably have Mamdani will probably be fucking president by the time.
Yeah. He can't be.
True.
Yeah, think about it. If you're 30 and you inherit like, a few $1 million, what do you think that 30-year-old's going to do?
Part of it, this is kind of a joke, but I don't think it really is. Maybe the more I would think about it, I really think that a huge part of the boomer thing, the magic, is like wealth before social media. Like, I think that there is now, like, they just stacked money because it was the right thing to do. And I'm not saying that, I know the minimum or the wage increases. I know that there's like arguably some things that make it more difficult to stack wealth today. But I do think that, kind of like our joke about the Rimowa in the back of the plane, like, I think there is a huge desire to look like you have money and to show off even in your little ways, and to like, how are you comparing to other people and what are other people doing? And therefore you got to do it, or they stay in this hotel room, so you have to. And I don't think the boomers had that. And I think those 30-year-olds get all that cash and they're fucking, at Encore in Vegas having the nicest dinner because that's the thing you're supposed to do according to social media. I don't know. I feel like that plays a role.
Yeah, you're There's probably like right. Yeah. So yeah, I think what will happen is the elevated experiences will continue to be the beneficiary of it. Right. And you'll see people spend the money on things that they really want, and disproportionately other things. Like if you saw like Six Flags, traffic is down. Six Flags business is bad.
Right.
And that's a reflection of it is a middle of the ground experience to borderline bad.
You can't be in the middle. You can't be in the middle.
You can't be in the middle, right? Like you're better off having $1 amusement park experience.
Literally.
Like $1
and just like a fucking train that goes around.
But if you extrapolate that, if the 30-year-olds burn all the boomers 90 trillion in the next 25 years, then what happens?
It won't, because the market will keep ripping.
But they're not going to put it in the market.
Of course they will. These boomers have put these things in trust that have requirements. They're not like, you have to understand, like, yes, sure, some people are not planning that way, a lot of pretty wealthy people have set up mechanisms that do not allow their kids to just get money. You don't just wake up and your parents
when they
die.
pass, you kind of do.
But even if it's in a trust, you can say, okay, they get the money when they get married. They get the money when they're 40 years old. Like literally, you could set an age limit. So a lot of people are doing that. And
if I had to guess, I think like AI and all this shit, robotics and driverless and all that stuff, like just makes the experience, the American experience at that sort of level be still affordable. Like you're still getting driven. You're still like, kind of like we talked about. Because in my opinion, I think I don't know. I kind of think that the Gen Zers are fucked when they're like 40.
Because there's no more money.
Or they
and I think that there's a fundamental I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one who's jaded here, but I feel like there's a fundamental like interest in like socialism and hate for capitalism and sort of a dislike for the system.
I think that'll change if inflation really comes down with AI and robotics. I think that changes because then you're looking at like, dude, like Whole Foods is such a great example of like a very large, huge company, which typically people think they raise prices, they make the experience worse. Whole Foods today is a better experience, cheaper than it was pre-Amazon.
Right.
Like there's no question in my mind. What Whole Foods is today is what everyone wanted it to be, and it's there, and it's because of Amazon. It has nothing to do with anyone else besides Amazon. So I think like I don't know. I think that there's a lot of things to be said around like that. There's some pretty big opportunities here to change the mindset with disinflation type things like technology can bring. And I think that's how you change Gen Z's. Like, okay, now a ride costs substantially less than it did, fucking 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Airbnbs, hotels, travel, food, everything car insurance goes down, health insurance goes down.
I definitely
then you're like, your anger kind of goes away.
Yeah. You might be right. It just feels to me like there's
you got to go optimistic. You can't be a pessimist. I've realized
No, I'm with you all day. I'm not pessimistic about it. I just think that like the way that the system is set up might look really, really different in 30 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I feel like there's a fun, and maybe this is just what every young person feels like, and then they get older and they get more responsible. But it seems like when the boomers were kids, there was sort of like a buy-in to the story. And there was like, you do well, you work hard, you take care of your family. Like that is your responsibility. Where now it just feels like there's more of a like, hey, the system is set up for me to fail anyway. So fuck it. None of it makes sense. Like no one's bought in. And I will
say, I think the boomer generation didn't pay attention to politics the way young kids do today. So if you think about the Clinton era, Bush era, they were just putting their heads down and they worked. They didn't care about what was going on.
Right.
Now, every press conference, obviously Trump is a gaslighter. So everything he says gets everyone's attention. And they didn't care about it back then.
Just like, curious, do you feel like Trump is more of a gaslighter than Biden?
No one cared about a Bill Clinton press conference in the 90s.
Well, that's because that's true.
Yeah,
I don't think that's true. I think they did. I think like,
they care. Only people who cared about politics, not like, for example, you can go to any 23-year-old. They know every Trump press conference, regardless of where they stand.
I don't think that's true, Anand. I don't think that's
not
true.
At all.
I think I think we're just getting old. So now we're the ones who care. I think you literally go find a 23-year-old out and about, go down to Venice, to the boys and their crew and ask them if they heard the last press conference. They don't give a fuck.
The boys reached out to me on Saturday night thinking Trump was dead.
No, but that's what they care about because it's
social media. But that's social media.
That's not politics, though. That's not a press conference. That was a trend on TikTok that was like, yo, dude, the homie died. I'm saying like if you went to like any of these like college things, or even, 23, whatever, you ask them what Trump's last press conference is, they don't give a fuck at all. I think it's similar. I just think that there is a distrust in the system as a whole that is different from the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. I think that there's like it's all a scam sort of feeling. I think that's probably the difference. But either way, I'm still optimistic about it. I think either way, it's going to work itself out. And the economy of the US in 30 years is going to be huge, no matter what happens individually. But I just think that like the culture of the boomers seems like it was so much different than the way these young people look at it.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. I'm not talking about the good old days. I'm just saying like it's interesting how it's changing.
No, but the boomers, I actually think now care so much more about politics than they did probably 35 years ago.
Yeah, but don't you think that's just any like aging class? You care more as you get older. I feel like old people just sit in their house and think about politics all day.
Yeah, maybe it's a function of like you're not working as much or whatever. But like our mom is dialed.
I think that's normal though.
To when she sleeps.
Yeah, I think that's that's how older people have. That's why we always joke about like it's only old people that actually vote. All these young people don't matter because like I think
she brings up news that I don't even know. She like will come over to the house and be like, "Oh, did you hear this?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention."
I think that's normal. I think if you compare. Yeah.
Well, that's why they vote. That's why the boomers vote and the young people don't, because they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is like people always want to believe that there's like some like mega change in like society in every generation. Things are basically the same. Like older people tend to be the same.
Right.
Like if you look back, I'm sure you studied every older generation for the last 50 years. They probably look very similar than they do today. Yeah. So you wouldn't surprise me with like anything at this point that it's like it's not magically different. And what's interesting is one of the topics we put on was so Ramp, the corporate spending card company, which is absolutely on fire, released a really interesting list of top 10 restaurants for business diners and for New York and San Francisco. And so when you think Ramp, you're thinking, new age companies.
What Ramp is.
Ramp is basically an Amex replacement. It's a charge card
for corporates.
For companies. And it's why it's popular is because the software is incredible, where you literally get a dashboard as a business owner or a CFO, and you get to watch. You can easily increase limits. You can track spend.
What you're saying, Dee, just to like kind of dial it in, because I think it's really important why Ramp is so good, is that if you're a company, you give all your company employees a Ramp card, and you say you get to spend $150 a week, and then you get to track what the $150 is, and someone's on top of that, and you get to like kind of manage your entire corporate spend. Whereas back in our day, when we were doing Reckless and 5-4, people just send in receipts. We have no fucking clue what they really spent it on. Right.
Yeah. And I think the other piece to it is that in what's happening today is this new generation of corporate people, and you're like, oh, they're Gen Z, they're millennials, they're doing things different. They're not. They're eating at the same fucking restaurants that people ate at 25 years ago. So they're eating in New York, Milos, Wolfgang Steakhouse, Scarpetta, The Smith. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Kode. It's a Korean steakhouse. That's a newer restaurant on the list. Gramercy Tavern, Carbone, Bond Street, Nobu. I mean, come on. These are booming restaurants.
Rich restaurants.
That's why I don't get like how if you're
every restaurant you listed is minimum $200 to walk out of there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand if you're like if you're a Mamdani type thinker, how you could think it would be a good idea to chase out rich people and corporations because they're funding the whole shit.
Yeah. It's
Even these like young, these young visitors to the restaurants are fucking using their ramp card.
Yeah. And in San Francisco, I don't know these restaurants going to eat there, but Burma Love, the Vault Garden, Wayfair Tavern, Kokari I've heard of. I've been.
Kokari is great.
China Live, Spruce, Pabu,
Spruce
Lamar.
is hot.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's maybe San Francisco.
Those are like $200. Those are $300 restaurants.
Yeah.
The ones.
By the way, none of the restaurants in New York are 200 either. Right? They're all way higher. But yeah, I mean, I think the point is that like,
if you're an SF, I don't eat beef, but everyone says the Spruce burger is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger point is that like everyone wants to believe every generation is different. They're not. They're the same.
Right.
They're eating at the same fucking restaurants in New York City that people ate at 20 fucking years ago.
Right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I guess my only argument would be like the impact of social media and like the FOMO that it generates. But maybe that's what TV was in the fucking 60s,
Yeah. I mean,
so I guess at what point, as you two are both CEOs, if your employees had a ramp and they went to Spruce, which in SF is one of the most expensive restaurants.
Well, no one I know would ever go to San Francisco because there's no point for us to be there.
Kokari.
They would be fired if they went to San Francisco because there's nothing
in New York.
No, Kokari is not in New York, so they would never go there.
Sorry, not Kokari. Carbone.
Okay, if it's the right customer, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like I literally do not care. If it's the right customer, go for it.
Yeah, the simple question is
justifiable.
How much what's my return on investment? How much did my $300 dinner return me?
Well, it's not 300, it's 1,000 when you go to Carbone, right? Like you're taking, it's like,
So what's the bandwidth you give them? So let's assume your employee spent $1,000 at Carbone to take out a customer. How long does that customer get leash for them to put in an order where you're like, that was justified?
Well,
I mean, I would look at it differently. It's not put in $1, get $2 out. That's not how, it's not a Facebook ad. It is, okay, this customer does $5 million a year with us and we take them out to dinner once a year. Can you spend $1,000 on them? Yeah, of course. Right. If they spend $5 million a year, you can do it. Right. I usually end up taking out most of these, high profile kind of suppliers and customers. And like mine is like, I'm not taking them out every month. I'm taking them out once or twice a year. Most of these people I see maybe once a year. And so, yeah, a nice dinner. They feel good. They had a nice experience. We had a fun time. Like, but yeah, you're not taking out someone that you just started doing business with out to dinner. Like, unless it's like Nike.
Yeah, I'd compare it to like parenting. Like it's just a judgment call that you sort of hone over time. And you see bad CEOs who, equivalent to bad parents, just make a lot of bad judgment calls and they probably end up having shitty kids. And then you see good judgment. So I don't think Dee spends like that. Neither of our businesses are really in the point where we're just charging Carbone left and right. But in the rare occasion,
it's validated, right?
Yeah,
No, I totally get it. I just wanted to hear it out.
Yeah.
All right. Last topic. I wanted to talk about.
Drama wants to talk about Arch. He brought it up in the beginning.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
you just interrupted me when I was literally talking about that.
So we should be at Carbone. Take me out.
You don't spend money with me enough to warrant it.
No ROI.
Yeah. So the big story of the weekend is that college football officially came back. And there was obviously a whole slate of games. The one that we were talking about on Wednesday is Archie Manning, Texas versus Ohio State. I'm calling him Archie because of how he played. He's no longer Arch to me. He's an Archie.
What happened, man? Did he just get exposed?
He got exposed.
Why are you calling him Archie? Because that's a grandpa's name.
I call Mamdani Zohan.
Yeah, you just get sort of disrespected when you don't perform well. You just get, it's like if we called you Anand, like it's just like, right, Anand, it's just kind of a bullying tactic.
Exactly. And I'm a bully.
So Archie is a bullying tactic.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Okay. You're sort of hazing him a little,
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to be Arch? You gotta play like Arch.
But what happened? So just explain in layman's terms, like he had all this hype. He's a Manning. It was going to be amazing. And then he just got
set
shit
it up
on in
and
the
Dee
first
can
game.
go on his rant and we can kind of all chime in. Arch Manning was basically the media highlight of the entire summer leading up to this game. That he's the next Manning. He's a generational talent. And he, performed well last year, but he also performed well against shitty teams.
Right.
And he was going to go into Ohio State and crush. And that was the setup. And then Dee can go into how the game.
Yeah,
Archie.
He choked. He looked like he played for USC. Choke City.
USC had 73 points.
I know, but I'm just saying normally that's how we play. We're bumps. So it's nice to see we had a good weekend and they sucked it up. But
is he really bad or was it just a fluke?
No, he actually did not play well. It was his fault they lost.
Wow.
Singularly focused, it was his fault.
The thing with Johnny Manziel was on Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp's pod.
Yeah.
It was you could do it against Louisiana Monroe, but guess what? You're playing against boys. You want to talk about this was his exact quote, Johnny Manziel. I saw the clip. He said, you want to talk about the GAT and you have a red target on their back? You better back it up. Right. But you did.
Yeah, of course.
So honest opinion. I know I'm asking you to make a crazy opinion. It's one game. Is he a sham?
No, he's not a sham. He'll be fine. It just takes time.
Dee?
Yeah, probably a sham.
Right.
We have friends saying he should be benched.
Look bad.
Here's the problem is that he's not 18 years old. He's 21.
Right. Right.
So
is this his last year?
He's got 2 more years left if he wanted.
Will he make it to the NFL? Sure. Why not? I'm all about nepotism. I love nepotism. Right. I hope he makes it to the NFL. I hope he makes a shitload of money.
He could go to the NFL this year if he wanted.
Exactly. So it's fine. I have no problem with him having an incredible NFL career and great life. But you gotta ball out. This is the game.
So here's the thing, drama. So he's playing a shitty team next week, San Jose State. He'll probably have 7 touchdowns.
Right.
And then the media narrative will train.
And so I want to leave the episode with some numbers. Yeah. U.S. college sports. This is from Trung Fan, an incredible follow on X if you don't follow him. $19 billion of annual revenue is U.S. college sports. 70% of that is football. 30% of that is men's basketball. They're the second largest sports league by revenue. More than NBA, more than MLB, more than Premier League. Highest paid public employee is a college football or basketball coach in 43 of the 50 states. 60% of athletic department spending fell into 3 categories: facilities, coaching, salaries, and pay for staff. Barely 10% went to scholarships. 70% of top-tier sporting public universities use academic funds to prop up their athletic program. This is mega business. Mega business.
Tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Football is just...
it's just... the funny thing on X is the European mind can't comprehend. And it's right. SEC football guys drinking 40 beers.
Yes.
Every stadium, by the way... I watched whatever. I was watching the whole weekend, every game. Every stadium's packed.
I will say that actually makes me optimistic. That's an optimistic sign about the future of the country. It's just the team, the camaraderie, the stadium filled with kids wearing all the same color and doing these chants. And there's a unity out there. There's a belief in a system.
So just to kind of put in context the amount of money that is in college football. So the Alabama coach, they lost. They got crushed. And now everyone's calling for his head. Guess what his buyout number is if they want to fire him?
70 million.
You know it, though.
Is it 70 million? I was going to say 20. That was going to be my guess.
$70 million to get him out of there. and he gets to sit on the beach.
How many years is his deal?
And you, what I don't understand is knowing that information. Like, why don't more parents raise coaches?
That's what I told you this like a year and a half ago on this pod. I was like, make Dom a coach. Right. That's the best job in the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's incredibly amazing.
Because you have no physical ailments.
Yeah, no brain
trauma. Just go and work.
It is a very tough job, though. Being a high-profile sports coach, people are nuts. Look, I'm sitting here criticizing a 21-year-old kid, and I've done nothing. And we don't even have a sports audience. So imagine tomorrow morning you wake up, everyone is calling for everyone's head in every job. Every 18-year-old kid is getting completely ridiculed. Sports is very tough.
You know who crushed it, in my opinion, over the weekend as a non-sports guy that still saw this was Portnoy.
Yeah.
Did you guys see any of that?
I watched the whole morning show.
Oh my God.
I was more Pat Mac.
He's like a WWE wrestler mixed with a fucking. He is so good.
He's so good. That
guy just understands.
Yes.
Content.
Like
that was Fox's kind of counter to Pat Mac.
Yeah, I think it was a great fucking play.
He murdered it.
Yeah.
I actually kind of thought it was annoying, to be honest.
But in my opinion, yeah. Even if you thought that, it's like now you're gonna be like a hate watcher, you know? Like he just.
No, I'm Pat Mac all day.
I know, but you know what else blew my mind? If I read this right, is that like there's also like I don't know if it's Bussin' with the Boys or another Barstool. Property is getting integrated into ESPN.
Yes, that one is.
It's just like, man, so not only is this guy you have to respect him when it comes to his ability to make content, but we've said it before, his eye for talent. I mean, essentially Barstool is ESPN now. Even when you think about whatever the betting company was leaving to do ESPN Bet, they left the Barstool deal.
Yeah.
Like essentially ESPN is just soaking up Barstool talent and strategy to try to juice it up.
100%. You're 100% right. If you think about just name two people, Call Her Daddy, 9-figure deal,
right?
When she left Barstool.
Pat
Mac, 9-figure deal.
No, the guy's
insane.
But now you're talking about Fox Sports.
He's the PayPal. He's the PayPal of fucking.
He's the Peter Thiel of sports media.
He is.
Yeah, I would say media. I mean, Call Her Daddy and Pat McAfee it transcended sports, and they're just culture. They're just big.
Yeah, and those other guys joining ESPN and Dave himself joining Fox. It's like they are sports. They're sports media at this point.
I mean, they should let him do the evening news.
100%. It's like, what was Barstool really worth?
Like people would watch it.
It's just, I wonder what Barstool, like if you really put a long-term value on Barstool, you know, even 5 years ago or whatever, it's pretty shocking as like just a dude. He's just a dude who started making content from Boston. Like he's not like a born media guy or whatever, but
I think that's discounting it because I think that's the same way people talk about Pat McAfee. And same with Portnoy. These guys do the work.
No. I'm not saying they don't.
They have the personality that makes them look like they're able to talk to the audience, right? But they've already done the work.
No. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying Dave Portnoy. I think Pat McAfee is great, but I think that if you look at Dave Portnoy's like the business he built, the group of people he gathered, and the thing he built. And the people he rose from obscurity, like even on a business level, is fucking mind blowing. I can't think of anyone in a similar ball. Like to me, it's just as any way that anyone could sort of respect Mr. Beast. I think Dave Portnoy deserves the same or more.
His eye for talent's insane.
Just like,
but I think what he recognizes
the way sports content is done from guys in suits, like, well, you see, he's doing a blah blah blah, to like the dude at the bar, like he changed it.
And I think what he merged was the dude that looks like the guy in the bar, but that actually did the work.
Yeah. But I think that's like what Pat I love McAfee about what he did.
In the tank top, you can discount him and say like, oh, who's this idiot in a tank top, but guess what? He knows everything.
Well, I think that what he did that's so cool, that's so modern, I think it's like a modern trend that's happening, is who's to say the guy in the bar doesn't do the same, doesn't obsess the same way the guy in the suit does, the fucking analyst, so to speak. And I think that everyone would much rather hear from the guy in the bar who knows his shit than the analyst in a suit. And he just, I don't know. Anyway, that's the one thing that really hit my
I think what
radar.
Barstool did, and which was the most exceptional part, they took what our group chats talk about and put it on air.
Yeah, if I'm in media in any level today, I'm trying to figure out how to barstoolify
saw the
whatever
chats
I
that
do.
Dee and I have with our friends, Brian, Mikey, and Terj.
Yeah.
That's Barstool.
Right.
Well, it should be. They can't even say what's actually happening in chat. That's the problem with media. We're not even allowed to talk about what actually is said in these chats. It's fucking heinous, and I love it.
Right.
I want to insult everyone all the time.
I mean, everyone's like, Art should be benched, this, that.
Yeah, and it's not just about that. It's about everything. That's no one. The news media is not reflective of how people talk privately.
Right,
that's why it's dead. We're watching random podcasters.
I mean,
and
that's why our podcast name is Group Chat, because we're trying to bring the group chat into a podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't even get close, really.
Yeah. No, we can't even be it. I can't even speak freely. I feel like I'm in communism.
That's what they want.
Yeah. Day one.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff. What do we got? Shout outs?
We got a couple comments in the YouTube. First one is from Burn7851. Usually listen on Apple Podcasts, but had to comment. You guys are paying $2,500 on electricity. Here in Central Texas, I paid $300 to $350 a month water and electricity in one bill. I have a 2,200 square foot home. Yeah, I mean,
that's red.
That's you go red. At Show Me 1024. God, I missed the 90s. 2,700 for water and power.
I'm telling you, bro, that shit was blockbuster. That
shook the core of America.
Yeah.
Last shout out from Chris. Hey, longtime listener, love the pod. Tell Dee to man up and get TRT, not Ozempic. Okay.
Yeah.
Get buff, huh?
Or maybe do a little combo, and just fucking look like.
What happened to The Rock? Did you see him?
What happened?
The Rock. That's the comment was. He looks like a pebble now.
He got skinny?
Yeah.
He's on Ozempic.
I don't know if he got off the juice.
Wasn't he already in shape? He's a monster.
No, it's not Ozempic. He might have just stopped steroids. He could have, a lot of times when you get that old, you're pumping that much steroids, you could have a heart thing. I don't know. It's crazy.
Zach White, who's very into the peptide space, he said, "Oh, you need to get on Retatitrude."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All day.
What does it do? What am I getting with that?
Testosterone?
RETATRUTIDE.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, juice me up.
He's like,
hopefully The Rock's okay.
He's like, what do you want? And I said, I just want to stay lean. I want to lose fat, stay lean. He goes, take this.
Right.
I'm ready to get jacked.
I'm down for all of it. So if anyone has some needles and some stuff, we're ready to take group chat to the next level. We'll take what The Rock gave up.
We'll take what The Rock used to be cooking.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that The Rock got skinny.
It might be for more roles. Who knows? It's not crazy, but he just definitely is a lot slimmer.
What's his role? Is a wimp in a movie?
Maybe he wants to be a little wimp. Maybe, I don't know. He's a lib.
The pebble was so good.
All right, everyone have a great week. Thanks for listening. We'll see maybe Wednesday.
Yep,
I'm here.
Sounds good.
Peace.